thank you to you, Joy, for organizing everything. And I know that Molly is going to be great as a presenter. And so from what I've already heard, I feel like I'm going to need to take notes on everything because you're going to get really great content that you can apply immediately. So I just say thank you, and we'll keep working together to improve the experience that you have at the college. But remember, we are here for anything that's going on that you need help with, whether it's thinking through resources in the community, thinking about resources at the college, but definitely we want you to maximize everything so that you do well in your classes. So we're just here to help you with that primarily, because every semester means you're that much closer to graduation and going on to pursue your other degrees and your career. And we just want to thank you for letting us help you.
Thank you. So I would also would like to welcome you all to come back to our third session. So it's really nice to see you all. Again, many of you know me through these events. I'm Joy Betts, your academic success coach from Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, DEI. As you know, our mission is to support single mothers through mentoring, coaching, and resources. As Dr. Dickens has mentioned, also participants will have the opportunity to hear from guest speakers through the Tulsa community that are dedicated towards empowering women to fulfill their highest potential. Today, we're here together to celebrate the Mothers on a Mission event. This is our third virtual Moms Fair in the fall. We have received a lot of support from the administration, PCC Foundation, and the community. We're very glad Mrs. Molly Farley is with us today as our special guest speaker. So Dr. Dickens will also help collect information today, so please feel free to join in the conversation. So here is our today's agenda. So after Molly has, after Molly's tells her story, her tips, there's some Q&A time for everyone to ask a question and get answers from Molly. And then it's followed by student organization presentation. So we have over 100, I think 121 members registered. And it's a common voice that we would like to get together, not only on Zoom, but have other extracurricular and enrichment activities. And Jonica has been selected as the executive board person in charge right now. Once we have the committee, then we're gonna do some voting. And Jonica, thank you. And so that's the last one. That's too fast. Okay, so apologize for that. There we go. So in the past events, you have learned resources to help balance school and life. This week, we'd like to invite you to join us for an empowering session to help you on your mission towards financial independence. Today, Molly will talk about entrepreneurship. So Molly worked on merging her own business with her professional job. She's a mom, higher educational professional, and dedicated side hustler. All day and night, she's the mom to two great kids that she's desperately trying to raise with a strong work ethic, strong moral compass, and a mission to make a difference. During the day, she's the Associate Dean of Academic Advising at TCC. In the evening, she co-runs a shopping co-op where about 3,000 mothers across the greater Tulsa area work together to get great deals on a variety of products. She's excited to share what she knows about finding financial stability in an unstable world. So here I give the mic to Molly.
Thank you so much, Joy. I am so excited to be here. And while I'm going to share my screen, Joy, I think
Yes,
you have to
I need to.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, great.
Thank
so
you.
While we're doing that, I want to take just a second to address my background, and not my personal history, the actual background right back here. So I typically, this is where I work right now. So I'm working in my home office. You might see some toys in the background. There's some seashells that my son dug up recently. And then there's some work equipment back in the far background. So I like to show people where I work, because a lot of us are kind of in the midst of chaos right now, right? We're all working wherever we can work. I'm often on my phone answering emails or working on my website. And you know, sometimes I'm sitting outside digging in the dirt while doing that. So I wanted to let y'all know that, you know, we're all kind of in this world right now, and I want to, this is my display of the world a lot of us are living in. So I'm going to share my presentation. There's not too many slides. Let me see if I can share it here. It requires a little bit of flipping around. Let me display settings, swap. Okay, can everybody see my first slide? It should be a title page, and it says Motherhood and Creative Entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Okay, great. So my goal today, I'm going to talk about what I do on the side currently to make some extra money and make sure that we can do the things that we want to do and pay our bills currently. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. That was an awesome introduction. I'm going to go a little bit deeper than that. So I'm a mom, a wife. I have a full-time job, a part-time job, and I have a pretty solid side hustle right now that I am in love with. And I'm also a bargain hunter. That will become vitally important in just a moment. I'm a self-proclaimed techie, and I'm a knowledge seeker. So if I don't know something, I'm going to find the answer. And I'm going to show you a couple of the ways that I do that, because it absolutely helps when you're pursuing entrepreneurship. I'm also a crafter. I love crafting. I love making things, whether that be on the computer or using my hands. I love creating. So with that said, I also want to tell you that, so this summer, my husband actually had to quit working because of COVID. So we are a single income household. So there's me, my husband, and my 2 children. And we're making it work every day. We're all hanging out in my house, making it work with my income. So my part-time and side hustle job has become even more important this summer than it was in the past. And it's become a way that we can really supplement our income more than have extra money. So I think that's important as we go forward to acknowledge. So first I'm going to talk about what I do. So when I tell people, actually when I told Dwayne about this, he was like, wow, that is really unique. And I've never heard of that before. So what I do is I help run. So there's actually 3 of us that help run a shopping co-op. So if you've ever heard of like a grocery co-op, this is kind of the same thing, only it's for shopping. So what I do is I will go and find deals on all kinds of stuff. Kids' clothes, toys, face masks recently, all different things. There's a rock dig kit. That's where my son dug up the seashells. So we find really good deals on wholesale items. So then what we do is we present those deals to our group, and we have about 3,000 moms in the Tulsa area that are a part of the group. We present those deals to them, and then they can order through us. And then we place a bulk order. So we'll say to a supplier, we'll say, hey, we can get 1,000 orders for this item. What price can you give us if we order 1,000 of those? And so then we go from there. So then we tell the group, hey, we have to have 1,000 of these to get this price, and then they start placing orders. Once I get the items, which are delivered to my house, which I meant to take a picture of some of the boxes on my front porch yesterday, but there were about 10 giant boxes of stuff. And I was like, oh, this would be great, and I forgot to get a picture of it. So they're delivered, and I sort everything by person's name and put it in bags, recycled bags that like Walmart sacks and not Aldi, Target, any of the grocery stores in the area that have plastic bags. I sort everything out, and then I have helpers across the city that I deliver items to. And then the people that ordered go and pick those items up. So it's very much a co-op. We all work together to make sure that we can get great products. Now, why is that a side hustle? You're probably saying. There's been nothing here about earning money. So it's a side hustle. So I get a lot of my products for free. So I get lots of clothes for free, and I usually get some of the products that we're selling at little or no cost to me. I also charge what's called a co-op fee, which is very typical in co-ops. So we charge a small fee, basically so that I can run the business. I do make a little bit of money off of it. I don't make a ton, but I love finding the deals, and I love providing that service to people, and especially to moms. So I do make money off of it. You know, it pays for Christmas. It'll pay for an extra bill every month or so. You know, so it's not a ton, but I love doing it, and this is the thing that I have done the longest period of time. I've had lots and lots of little side jobs, and this is the one that I love the most, and that I've been doing for a while. So that's a little bit about that. What I really want to talk to you about today are some things that led me down this path, and some shifts that I made to make this happen. So first, I really suggest that people, or really encourage people to change their mindset about money. So a lot of the times, you kind of go from how much do I have to spend this month? So if you have a job or you have a certain amount of money coming in, it's how much do I have to spend? And I really encourage people to make that shift to how much money do I need to make this month? How much money do I need to make this week? What else do I need to make to ensure that I am where I want to be? And that it releases you kind of from that single number, and it really gets you. It gives you some creative. It gets your creative juices flowing, and gives you that drive to make that side business or make your money making endeavor work, and to really work at it. Especially when you're really tired because your 3-year-old's waking up 2 or 3 times a night, and you're just exhausted. So kind of gives you that hope that you're not stuck with this single number for this certain amount of time. You're focusing on what you need to make. Now, with that said, so this is what kind of my like a sample budget really. So I write down my expenses. It looks like a regular budget, but instead of like how much extra do I have, or trying to get this number down, like to zero, get my budget to zero, I focus on how much I need to make. If that's and if my number down here is negative, that's what I need to make up. So I need to get that to 0. And so then I can really focus on what I need to do to make that happen. So it doesn't mean that you have to never have to make tough decisions. It's really just shifting that and figuring out what you need to make, or what you need instead of what you have. So that's really my first thing that I shifted focus on, and then that really opened my mind up to, you know, get the creative juices flowing on seeing how I could change that. So find your support system. So I am a member of lots and lots of groups. Some of those supports are in person. So I have my mom in the living room right now with my 3-year-old and 8-year-old. My 8-year-old is probably not doing her schoolwork as she should. And my 3-year-old is supposed to be taking a nap right now, but I can still hear him in there. But I have my mom in there, and she is my biggest in-person support. However, I find so much support from like online groups. So I will find groups on Facebook. I'm a member of a student affairs moms group because I work in student affairs. And most of those moms have side jobs. So if I need to run something by a group of people, they are who I go to. If I'm having a rough day and my kid woke up 3 times and I need, I have to finish this so I can make, $10 extra so we can do this thing that I need to do in a week. I go to them, if for nothing else, to get it out of my body and to release it and to hear from someone else that's in a similar situation. So find somewhere, whether it's in person, online. When 10 years ago, when you said find a support group, it was like, go to meetings once a month and find a group that you are, or go to dinner with your girlfriends every month or a week. I find motherhood, since I have been a mother, has been a somewhat lonely place. It's very hard to get out, and it's very hard to meet up with people. And when you do, especially if my kiddos are with me, the conversation is never about those tough things that we have to focus on in motherhood. And if they are, we're all being interrupted at least 20 times. So nobody remembers what you talked about anyways. So find that support system. And if it's a Facebook group, I went ahead and I did a search for like moms in college, moms taking classes, and there's several out there. And if that's what you need to find, just to scroll through and see if someone's in a similar situation, find that support group. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so what does it mean to work for yourself? So what does entrepreneurship mean to you? When you think entrepreneurship, a typical definition is owning your own business, working on your own time, doing something that you love. But really owning your own business is like a very typical definition. And that's really not the definition that I challenge you to think of. So making money on your own time, based on your own guidelines, is my definition of entrepreneurship. That does not necessarily mean that you own your own business. It does not necessarily mean that you're not working for a company doing that. It means that you are in control of when you work and how you work and how much you work. I get to choose with the co-op and with several of the side jobs that I've had, I get to choose whether I work that week, and I get to choose whether I work that month. I also get to choose how much money I make. So, for example, when we have extra money coming in, like let's say we get a gift or a gift card of something, that's less that I have to work and work at my side job that week or month. So really, when I think of entrepreneurship, I think of making money on your own time based on your own guidelines. It does not have to mean owning your own business and, running something. It just means doing it your own way. So, here's what this is the other thing I wanted to cover here. So here are some of the things that I have done over the years when I needed some extra money. I actually talked to a friend of mine the other day, and he called and he was laid off because of COVID, and he's really struggling right now. And he needed to make a little bit of extra cash to make rent this month. So he's like, I'm not sure how to make. I need to make money right now for this month. So I talked to him about doing some research, some jobs that I've done, some ways that I have made some money when I needed it right away. So some of the things that I've done to earn extra money over the course of my life are I've taken family portraits of some friends just for a tip. Because they said, hey, I was like, I don't mind doing it for free, but they, give me some extra money. I've run errands for families. I've cleaned houses. I've house sat for people. I've dog sat for people. I've donated plasma. Usually when people say that they've donated plasma for money, they're like, oh my gosh, and that is absolutely something that you can do to earn extra money. When you need money, that's probably one of the fastest ways to earn some extra cash if you need it. I've worked for this company called Cha-Cha. So I don't know if any of you all remember Cha-Cha, but it was a text-based answer service. So people would type in questions, they would text questions to a number, and a person would be on the other end, and they would text back the answer after they did like a Google search or some research on it. And so I earned $0.25 for every one of those that I did. So I would just sit and answer questions on the weekend because we didn't want to spend money on gas to go anywhere. So what else was I doing? I was sitting there anyways. I might as well answer a question every once in a while. So I did that to earn extra money. I've completed surveys. There is a website called Achievement that I track my food, sleep, and steps, sleep, and eating habits. And they give me gift cards for that. It's not a lot. It's like $10 every 4 months or so, but that adds to my income. I get cash back for the money that I do spend. So I get like the Walmart cash back for receipts, Ibotta, Honey Gold. Anytime I'm spending money, I always A, search for coupons and discounts, and B, try to get money back from that website. I have sold gift cards for places that I didn't use or to places that I thought were too expensive to spend money at. I got this random gift card from a family member for Nordstrom. And I've gotten it several times. And I'm not going to spend money at Nordstrom. I'm just not going to do it. It's too expensive. And I won't do it. So I sold the gift card. And I sold it for $10 less than it was for, and I had cash. Garage sales. I've made birthday invitations for people. I've made wedding invitations. I've bought things on super clearance, and then I have resold them for a profit, for just a little bit more money. I've done micro jobs. So there's this website called Amazon Turk that you can do little tiny jobs, and they're like, 10 cents to $0.25 each, but you can do a bunch of them in a row and make some extra money off of it. So those are some of the things that I've done, a huge variety of the things that I've done to make some cash and work on my own terms. So I got to choose every single one of those things. I was in charge, and I got to choose what I did. Research. So Google is my best friend. So that's the picture on this one for you, those of you that are on the phone. So I have become a professional Googler. I research everything. I just did like a screenshot, how to make money from home. And so here's some things that it says. Now there's all these websites. There's some things that you have to remember when you're looking online. You will hear a lot to just never take a job when they talk about it on, if you Google it, it's never going to work, right? That you hear all the time. You're like, if it's a website, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you're just Googling it, you're not going to make money off of it. So you hear all these things. If you do your research, there are lots of ways out there from home that you can make some money. Are you going to get rich? No. But are you going to be able to pay or to eat out on a Friday night and get some pizza maybe? Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to be able to make up a difference on a bill that was really expensive because you've been at home instead of at work or at school, and so your lights are on more often? Absolutely. So when you think about Google, you're going to find what you're looking for plus a whole lot more. Some of it's going to be awesome. Some of it's not going to be awesome. So you really have to do your research on that. So here's what I do when I'm researching anything, but especially something that somebody's going to pay me to do. So I go through the entire website looking for anything that says that I have to pay money to make money. If I have to pay money to make money, it's not a good idea. So I skip past those. I type in reviews. So I will say, like, let's say rover.com is a way that you can do dog walking. So you can sign up to do dog walking. So then I'll write Rover employee reviews. And then I read through those. And I look for the good, the bad, and the ugly. You go, and you're not looking for reviews on the company's website, right? So you're looking for independent other websites that have reviews. You go into it knowing what you need to make from it, and you find out if you can make it happen. If your goal, so once you've done your budget, if your goal is that you need really an extra $20 a month, read reviews and look for potential earnings for that, right? So don't just go into it thinking I'm going to make an unlimited amount. Know how much you need to make and know how much work that's going to cost or that's going to take. And then, again, I can't say this enough, never pay money to make money. Do not pay money to make money. So if it's that, it's not a good idea. So these are some of the ways, and this is very similar to the advice that I gave to my friend the other day. These are some of the ways that he could go in. He actually signed up for a website called Amazon Turk, Turk. And he's been making, little chunks of change ever in the last week or so that he can transfer to his PayPal debit card. So I have a PayPal debit card. So when I link everything to that. So anytime I make any money from an online platform, anything that I'm doing, I can transfer it over there, and it's available immediately, which is really helpful when you need it to buy something right away, food, whatever it is. You can use it just like a regular debit card. So in sum, my top 3 takeaways are to change your mindset about money. So instead of going from how much do I have to spend, kind of shift it to how much do I need to make. You're still going to have to make hard choices, but it gives you kind of a little extra drive and lets you know that it's possible. You're not stuck with this single number. Find a support system. So get your support system in place. If you are living in Tulsa and you don't have anyone around you, you don't have parents that can support you, you don't have a good friend group yet, the best thing you could do is get an online support system that you at least can commiserate with. that you can post those funny or ugly memes and have someone say, I've been in this exact same situation. Here's what I did. That goes a long way for your mindset and for that emotional support. And then research everything. So don't pay money to make money, and research everything, read reviews, and do all that. Now, all of those things that I mentioned, you don't really have to spend anything on. It's just a way that you can start researching and trying things. Again, I listed out all the things, or most of the things that I've done to make extra money over the years. And when I landed on the co-op, that fit really what I wanted. It fit my strengths, my abilities, and really some of my passions for doing research, finding really great deals, being creative. So I finally landed on something, but I couldn't wait for that perfect thing to come along before I needed to pay for something. I needed to pay bills, and I needed to support my family. So I did lots of things before I kind of, built the skills in my little personal inventory to be able to run a co-op, fairly large business, and love it, and be able to come home from my full-time job and work on it late into the night. So absolutely research and keep trying things, and you're going to find something that you love that might morph into a full-time job eventually. But I'm happy with this being a side job. I love my full-time job and I love my side job, and I like that it's flexible enough that I can do it when I want and when I need. So that is my presentation. I think I probably saw some questions come in. Joy, is that right?
This is wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say, as we go through Molly's presentation, let's look for 2 or 3 things you can share with the group that you can apply today or soon for your life. We'll want you to post these items in the chat box. You can also ask Molly right now. Very smart saving tips, and very smart, I mean, that's a survival tips.
Yes.
I do the same a lot of times. I'm just saying, how do I join your mom's group? your frugal mamas. I am too, because I learned it that way. I just look for coupons, RVs. I go to RVs coupons, and just use that.
Yes. I'm not a couponer. I don't like using coupons in the store. I don't, but I've found ways that I can still do it online and still save. I've tried couponing so many times, and I just fail at it miserably every time I try. So that's for certain not one of my strengths. But yeah, if you're in the Tulsa area, you could absolutely join my co-op. You can reach out to my email address and we can get connected. It's actually, what's funny is that it's a secret group. So we don't advertise. It's just word of mouth. So moms telling other moms, hey, there's this great deal on, leggings. You can go in here and get this group. We have one, we do a really big buy, that's what we call them, on toys, Melissa and Doug toys, actually. So we do a really big buy on that. And it's, so we get a lot of, moms saying, hey, there's a really good deal. If you need a birthday present for 50% off, then here's where to go. So it's all word of mouth. But yeah, I can get you connected.
So you have food too, right? Like cereal and different stuff?
So sometimes, yeah. So we have it depends on the month, but every second month, I think, one of my co-hosts hosts a buy called Frontier, and it's spices, grains. It's more of a traditional kind of grocery co-op buy. But it doesn't have like perishable items, so it's non-perishable. But yeah, that's we have that as well. It's kind of a pretty eclectic group of items. Anything we can find a deal on, really.
Yeah.
What other, anybody have any questions or comments?
So I found that young people sometimes may not look for those things. I mean, like 20-year-old, because I have a 20-year-old, she doesn't know that. For clothes, for example, there's NBC, that have name brand, and she doesn't have the patience. But if you have the patience, then you can find a lot of good deals.
Yes, patience or desperation.
Yeah.
That's what I have found to fuel money saving is, yeah, patience and desperation. My daughter she has no concept of finding deals. I told her that we could make a Halloween costume instead of buying it the other day, and she was like, but why would you want to make it if you can buy it? And I was like, well, because we don't have the money to buy it. And so I told her we could go and look at them and then make it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that no concept. They just want me to put everything on my credit card. That's what they tell me. And I'm like, I don't have one of those. And if I did, I'm not using it for a Halloween costume. What else? Any other?
So I put one to the room about, I really like the one about the shift from spending what I have versus what I need to make. And so I'd really like to hear more about how that looks on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, so from my perspective, so I'll use this summer as an example. So when my husband had to quit his job this summer, it was we have 2 weeks to figure out how we're going to make this work, because we absolutely use both of our incomes to make it. So what it looks like really on a daily is when I sit down and I'm looking at the money that I think I'm going to spend for a week or a month. I do it by month because that's how often I get paid. So I have to make, all the money that I have last the month, right? That is scary. It is super scary to know that we have a certain amount of money to last the whole month. But if instead I can say, okay, we have this much money. This is what I've budgeted for this much money. How much do I really need to make? And how can I make up the difference? And what does that look like on a daily basis? Do I need to, so for my side business right now, it's, do I need to open up a few more buys so that I can make a little extra this month because we have, a higher electricity bill, or have I paid enough ahead on our car payment by paying $25 extra every month that I can skip this whole month, and so I don't have to do anything. I'm good, and we have a little extra, so I don't need to make that difference. So when I talk about shifting, I really talk about focusing on what you can do to make what you need to make. So you still start out with your base or whatever you have, but then you focus, and in your head, you're thinking, okay, I need $20 extra for this. How am I going to make that this month? If I'm walking dogs, how many dogs do I need to walk to make that $20 extra? When am I going to do that? And so it's really shifting your schedule and, into that, how am I going to, make this happen within my life? So again, when I talk about entrepreneurship, it's really, how do I make that fit into my life so that I can make the money that I need to make? It also puts a limit. So this, I'm going to say this, it puts a limit on what you're doing. So a lot of people, when they start a side business, and I've done this as well, it's like, I'm going to work really hard at this to make the most money that I can make. When you have kids, and a family and another job, you can't really do that. So knowing how much you actually need to make to live the way you need to live right at this moment, if it's $20 extra or if it's $200 extra, you can work that into your life where you're not just working and letting other things, really fall through the cracks. So if I know how much I need to make for that month, I can stop there. It's not just this endless cycle of working until you're exhausted. It's working until you've made what you need and then stopping. So really that has helped me a lot, because I tend to just, I'm super active and I like being busy. And I have to, a lot of times say, you know what, I've done enough this month. I've made the money that I need to make, and I'm going to go play with my kids. Because I've made the money I need to make. So that's really partially that shift in mindset. It's not only fueling your fire to make that extra money that you need, it's setting a limit on it so that you're not burning yourself out and overworking yourself for something that you don't necessarily need in your life right now. Does that make sense?
It does. I think she has just given so many gems in that answer that I heard what about the balance, but I also want to make sure we didn't miss, she said something about that extra $25 that she's paying, and was this for mortgage? Is that what she said?
This was for our car. Yeah. Yep.
So I really hope we did not miss that point. So a lot of our, you notice on contracts, look at your contracts for if you have a mortgage or you have a car. Those are typically the two big ones. And they will typically say you will not be penalized for paying extra.
Yep.
And so if you can, and it depends on how it's handled. Sometimes that extra will cut down on your payments in the future, or they will have it'll be handled based on the principal, which is the amount that you owe, the actual amount you owe that has no interest assigned to it. So sometimes that's not changing the actual payment, but it's cutting down on how much you're going to pay at the end of your loan. And so if you just want to pay off the loan early and you want it to go to principal only, it won't bring you to where you have a payment cut off in terms of you're making a future payment where you can do like Molly suggested. But what it can do is change maybe a 5-year or a 10-year or 15-year loan to where you only pay for 13 years, or you only pay for 4.5 years. And so it becomes a really helpful consideration.
And it doesn't take a lot.
It doesn't.
We've paid, for the last several years, we've been able to pay $25 extra on our car every month and $50 extra on our house. And it's cut our house, we'll pay it off 3 years before. And our car, we've been able to skip 2 payments, which I'll tell you, back in June, right when we didn't get that second income, was really helpful because I just didn't have to make a payment. It told me and you can call them and ask. You can just call. I am not versed in reading anything about any of that, so I just call and say, hey, if I pay you an extra $25 a month, what happens? Can I skip a payment at some point, or is it just going to come off the end? Or can I do both? What happens? And they'll tell you. They have people ask about this all the time, and they're going to tell you in regular people language instead of banking language.
Yeah. That's always helpful. And you can consider the one time a month, or so what a lot of people do, and I can tell you I did this with my house. I paid an extra $15 a week. And what it's doing is chopping your principal interest amount down much faster. And so if you know it's going to be $25, and if you can do it, it's sometimes easier to divide it into two or three parts. Right? If you know it's going to be $25, then you pay $12.50 during the middle of the month, and then you pay $12.50 at the end, or however that works out. So you're just trying to figure out how to cut the principal, which cuts your interest, your monthly interest.
Yes.
And that shortens everything. So if you can do it weekly, it's still shortening the time period. So just something to consider. I did not. So those are all gems that I heard from Molly. Now, what else did you all hear? What did you hear?
I think in the chat box, either Zen or Stephanie has typed a comment here. She said, okay, I don't know if they can speak right now. She said, two or three things I can apply to my life soon is, number one, finding a support system online with helping me. Number two, earning extra cash by doing online surveys or selling old clothes in my closet. Wow. Number three, search for more coupons and discounts. So where do you find most of the coupons? That's the question.
Yeah. Joy, you might know that more than me, but so here's a couple things that I do. I sign up. So it's called Honey Gold, and if you spend money on certain websites, and it's a huge list, Amazon, Walmart, there's a bunch of different ones. It gives you points, and those points equal gift cards. So what I do is I just save those points, and then when I hit 3,000 or whatever it is, that gives me a $30 gift card to Amazon. And then I'll go on Amazon and I just save it. So the next time I need to buy whatever I buy from Amazon, I buy way too much from Amazon, but when I can get it in 2 days. But, so I bought Q-tips the other day. And especially right now, because I don't want to go into stores as much as possible. So I found a really great sale on Q-tips. And so I bought them, and I used my Honey Gold gift card. So it was like I was getting them for free, which was fantastic for something that I need. So this is a trick that I use for things like gifts that I need, like kids' gifts. How many of you all have to, every birthday party that comes up, it's like, oh, what can I give? What can I give so-and-so's friend? Or are we not going to be able to go to this birthday party, right? I keep a stash, so I look for after holiday sales, and I look for after season sales, and I have a closet upstairs that I keep locked from my children. And I keep gifts in there. And it's usually things that I've gotten for at least, I don't typically buy anything unless it's 70% off, if it's like a gift. So I'll buy 70% off things for next summer. Like right now, I just saw a trampoline sprinkler, and it was about 80% off. So I was like, oh, for a summer birthday, that might be a good one. So if I have a little extra, or if I can make a little extra this week, I'll buy that. There's a couple of Facebook groups called like Deals and Steals, or like Kids Deals. And I can type some of these out if you all are interested and send them, that post deals. These people make money posting Amazon deals that link through their website. They will post the deal, you click on the link, you get the money back, and or you get the deal, so you still get the really awesome deal, and they're making a little money as well. I love supporting those because I'm supporting another mom that has found a really awesome, unique way to make money. So I love that, and I've been researching doing some of that here lately to see. It's a lot more complicated than it seems, but that's another thing that I do, and I can make kind of a resource list of making money, saving money, if you all are interested.
Great. So is there any more questions? if not, we're going to move on to Janica. So thank you so much, Molly.
Yes,
And
thank
so,
you all for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Monica, go ahead.
Thank you again, Molly. All right, so everyone, my name is Janica King. As Joy mentioned earlier, I am the president for the executive team for students who are parents. So if you're interested in joining the executive board, if you could just shoot me a text or an email. I'll go ahead and put my information in the chat. That way you can reach out to me. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So back to you, Joy.
All right. Is there any questions for Janica? So we will have this organization formed. Yesterday, Janica has represented our student body and presented for this new organization for us. It is new. Now we have a large base of students from the first registration who receive regular emails and resources as well as attending these events. So hopefully we'll have some more activities, more frequent activities to network with each other. So this is great. Thank you for participating. So Dr. Dickens, do you have anything to say?
No, I don't have anything extra. I think everything has been quite helpful, and I can't wait to see the recording to see how other people are watching it later.
Mm-hmm. So this is our website again at the bottom of this page from our DEI Office Inclusion and Retention. We have this website. We have the first recording posted. We got the second one. This is the third one. We will have them posted and send it out. And for those students who have received from the first event, some of you, 15 students, have received gift cards. So please have the coaching session scheduled with me. That way we can have everything ready. Once you finish the coaching, you will receive the cards, which is quite simple. So if you have questions, please email us. Email me or Dr. Dickens. So that's being said, if no more questions, we will conclude this event here. And thank you for our guest speaker. Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Dr. Dickens, and all the participants today. Have a nice day.